What's happening? Check, check, check. Check, check. This guy on? Welcome! Thanks for hanging with us. My name's Cory Wong. This is On The One. Today we are going to run through a song off of the Wong's Cafe album. Wolf Vault, Wong's Cafe album. The song's called Let's Go! See how I was really slick there. I went from this camera to that camera. Like, because I knew that camera was there. I've been working out on my Peloton a lot lately. Don't come at me. Okay, don't come at me. But they like really intensely look over at the next camera and they're like, yeah. There's some cats that are better than others. Some are a little much for me, but I'm a little much for some people also. Today's video is brought to you by Dynamic. These are my preferred studio headphones. I like these guys here, the DT700 Pro X. I got several other pairs around the studio. A lot of people like the 1770. They're a little more expensive, a lot nicer though. For whatever reason, I've been using headphones like this for a lot of years, so I just have a better reference. Like I know what things are gonna sound like or should sound like through those headphones. These ones, a little more brightness in the top end. Actually, sometimes I like using those ones because it helps me to mix things less bright occasionally. The thing about headphones is that once you get to a certain level, it's just preference. I like these ones a ton. Dynamic is dope. They're my preferred studio headphone. Check them out if you haven't. Let's dive into Wong's Cafe here. The last couple years, everybody in Wolfpack has been doing a Wolf Vault. Basically, some sort of compilation record that kind of is centered around them or whatever. And there's Dart, Theo, Here We Go Jack, Inside the Mind of Woody Goss. Antoine has one with some dope artwork. I gotta say, the artwork on the Antoine Stanley one is pretty insane. Wong's Cafe is mine. I wanted it all to be unreleased material. I didn't want it to just be a compilation of stuff that was already out there. So there was a lot of unreleased material that we had recorded. And I hit up Jack and I said, look, are you cool if I produce these out and just use these tunes? And Jack said, yeah, I have no plans for any of these tunes. Have at it. Let's Go is one that we recorded in our friend Mike Viola's shed, his backyard. We had entirely too much pizza 30 minutes before we recorded this. We wanted to do a session where we did everything to tape. Jack had the first section. He came in with the bam, bam. And we were playing around with it, hanging out with it. And then all of a sudden he said, Cory, let's use your karaoke machine tune for the verse section. I posted years ago to Instagram. It was a video of me playing just my Strat direct into my kid's karaoke machine. I don't know. I got it at Goodwill or something. Kind of terrible speaker, but the guitar sounds kind of cool through it. And I ended up writing airplane mode. We were trying to find ways to put it on other Wolfpack records and it just like didn't fit. Then I recorded it as my own tune. Finally, we ended up using it with Wolf for this tune because it matched with Jack's part. For this session, we had drums going direct to tape. I think just direct going, like, being mixed down and just a 2 mix of the drums. Bass going direct, but a little amp in the room. My guitar was going direct and I could just hear it through the speakers in the room just a little bit. Jack's guitar was going downstairs into Mike's Princeton reverb, I think, and we just had it kind of cranked, and then we had the fuzz of Viola's console giving it some of that fuzz. Woody was playing synth, just direct. Joey was playing wurli, just direct. So everything that was being monitored was really just through the speakers in the room, which weren't very loud. It requires us to play pretty quiet. It kind of like adds to the whole thing. It was drums, bass, wurli, synth, Jack's guitar, and my guitar. The OG tracks, which is just this. With all my extra stuff in there, I added some overdubs. All right, so let me give you the rundown of what's happening. So this is what the drums sounded like just on their own, without plugins. This is something that Jack sent me. Jack gave me just a stereo bus for each instrument. I think maybe he had a little bit of his own processing on there. I don't know. I added a little bit of bump for some low-end kicks. Then I duplicated the track and added this. I did something where I just mostly used the high end and I compressed it a lot. So that's the drums on their own. Here's the bass on its own. I ran it through an SVT, an EQ, and a little compressor. Here's what it sounds like without the plugins. It sounds like Joe Dart. Gives a little body, gives a little fullness. Here's the wurli. Little noisy, cool, part of the vibe. Here it is without plugins. I use this EQ, it's kind of like a multi-compressor. Added a little bit of Wolf Comp, added a little bit of Valhalla Room. Woody Synth. Pretty cool. Here's Jack's guitar with no plugins. That sounds dope. That's super cool. So that's him running Theo's 335 into Viola's Princeton reverb, kinda cranked, and then I think using a lot of the gain to get fuzz from the console and the tape. But then I added just a little bit of a EQ to take out some of the, tame some of it. But then I added this micro shift. This is actually a fun one I learned from my friend Brent Paskey. He plays guitar with Pharrell and NERD and a bunch of people. But Brent taught me this cool micro shift plugin on guitars where it kind of like splits it so you don't double track it, but it kind of gives it a wideness. Fun. That's cool. And my original guitar, I was just going direct. Wait, no. That doesn't sound direct. I don't remember what I was going through. That doesn't sound direct. That sounds like an amp to me. I don't know. I guess I was going through an amp. I just added a little bit of EQ, a little bit of room to it. Kind of uncharacteristic of me. I don't usually add a lot of room. So that's the original tracks. And then I thought, okay, this is all cool. It's great, but how can I add some energy to this thing? The first thing was on Jack's part, I wanted to just add a little extra to his stuff because that was part of what was happening. So I added some of these overdubs like this. Just kind of a few of those guys, just to add some energy to that part. And with Jack, it sounds like this. Tucked in there. Gives it a little more of a party vibe. A kind of a standard thing to add is this sort of thing, these sort of octaves. So I just double tracked the exact same thing. You can see, I did a little nudging to myself. Sue me! There's a lot of tracks on here, so I did some nudging. It's like, I don't know, I just play it down once and then I listen back. It's like, oh, that's a little rushy, little rushy. But I didn't move any of the original tracks. I thought those ones, let's keep those sacred. I thought it'd be fun to add some other guitar things, especially because it's Wong's Cafe. It's my record, so I'm gonna do a little extra guitar stuff. So I wanted to add this, what I'm calling a helicopter guitar bus. 3 guitars, adding this sort of rhythmic undercurrent to the thing. Those 2 extra guitars. Let's add in Jack's guitar and my guitar so you can just see how all the guitars fit together. Pretty fun. As far as stuff that I added to this song, really what I did is in certain spots, like in Woody's solo, I just automated some level things and I changed some effects, but I just took his main thing, dragged it down, and which I'll show you later. But I also added some extra synth layers. I added some percussion things. I added some string things. And honestly, for a lot of it, I just used stock Logic sounds, which are really dope.
It's pretty straightforward. You know, it's a little stock.
I'll get into that in a second. The other thing I added to this intro, I don't remember what program this is from, but there's this preset called Burnt Popcorn that's really cool. I don't know. It sounds like a zebra synth. I think it's a zebra synth. It's pretty cool. And then later I added some other synths. Just to add a little bit of a vibe. I also added some percussion and different random sounds just to fill it out. I added a timpani because I thought it would be fun. There's like somewhat 808-y sounding, and then some Lynn claps, and then my own claps that I just did. And then later they happen again. Oh, and I had some tubular bells. Check this out. This one's fun. It's Christmas. So here's that in context. And here you can hear, I wanted this next part. Sorry, I'm supposed to hold on to this thing, aren't I? Whatever. This next part, I wanted this chorus to stair step up, so that's why I added these little synthy things in there. It's fun. And also the strings. I thought it'd be nice to have that. The guitar is already given a little bit of that, but there's something about a string section that adds a totally different vibe. So I just played in something on my keyboard and I used a cello section staccato, viola section staccato, violin section 1 staccato. Stock Logic patches. Do they sound the best in the world? No. But do they sound great for this track? Absolutely. Oh, I see an automated reverb. Yeah, so I did that. I'm gonna set this thing back down. Yeah, I don't really want to hold on to it. You know, you see people that have them like hanging here. I think it looks, I don't know, it's distracting, but then like you forget, whatever. Let's go section by section. Now that you know what elements are in there, here's the first chorus. Well, it starts with Jack's guitar, which is incredible. And if you don't know the song, it's kind of fun because where 1 is a lot of times different than what people think. So it's cool. Now it's airplane mode. Oh, except for when we play Let's Go, we go up to C sharp minor instead of C major, right here. So I've been playing this tune live with my band. We play airplane mode and we play this song. Never the same night. I have to make sure that we don't play it because this has that song in it. But for airplane mode, it does the walk up and then it goes to C. On Let's Go, for this section, it goes up, it does the walk up, and then it goes to C sharp minor. One small detail that I need to remember for this song. Somebody's messaging me here. You hear it. What am I supposed to do? Do not disturb? Is that the move here? Do not disturb. On. Dave Matthews Band right here. Homage. That's a fun chord right there. That's that. That's who's playing this guitar? Why is it? What tuning is that? It's this. Also out of tune. What is going on? It's like an F sharp chord, but you let the B and E ring. It's fun. F sharp dominant 7 and 4. When you have piano players play that, it sounds like Brad Mehldau. When you have guitar players play it, it sounds like early 2000s acoustic. Is it like on Room for Squares or something? Is that why everybody knows it? That's how I think of that chord. Or maybe it's just when I learned that chord. We're gonna get the synth for the step up here. Oh, don't sleep on that timpani roll leading into it though. Timpani roll's tight. Let's isolate that sucker. Come on, that's fun. That's fun. Isn't the timpani fun? Also, for those of you who don't know, timpani is a plural word. I got roasted in high school because I said timpanis. My drumline instructor probably gave me a 3-minute lecture on timpani being plural. So I'm telling you now so you don't have to get yelled at by Kelly Taylor. That's fun. Fuzzy. HS Devon, whatever it is. I think that's also a zebra synth. Oh, you know that UFO attack's coming, baby. That's Attack of the UFOs right there. That's like the aliens coming down and be like, let's go. Da 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 da. Let's go. Sometimes you want something to sound vintage, you gotta go vintage pop culture. Subconscious. Verse 2, airplane mode, again. Little different articulation that time. Cause I'm tripping Billies. See, theirs goes dun 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 dun. If you don't know the Vanilla Ice quote, it doesn't.
We sampled them from them, but it's not the same bass line. Ding 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 diggy ding ding. That's the way theirs goes. Ours goes ding 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 diggy ding ding.
Oh, sick Woody Goss solo here. All right, so what I did here, let's take a look at his solo. Here's what it sounded like on its own without any plugins. Okay, I added some EQ, added the decapitator. Great plugin, just adds a little drive, adds a little overdrive to the whole thing. Wolf comp, trem control, stereo chops. You gotta work on your stereo chops. This plugin does it for you. And the Echo Boy. Echo Boy's nice little, oh nice, I tapped that one in. Here we go. Here's what that is. Then I added this little guy. I just doubled the track. I duplicated it, cut out a little more low end, added the octaver and a fuzz, octave fuzz, and the transient designer to remove some of the sustain. So it just less sustain. Just to give it a little, you know? What a great solo! Come on! Woody is so dope. Woody's dope. I think there was drums here, but I muted it. You can see I muted a couple hits, but. Oh yeah, for that guy, what's going on with this guy? Not the cleanest performance, but whatever. We're in a shed. This thing's pretty cool. I don't know what he's doing there. Some sort of arpeggiator on the synth. That's fun. Oh, we got another timpani roll. All right, then. All right, I remember what I was doing now. I watched a documentary about orchestra hits. But I was like, dang, orchestra hits are dope. So I thought, for this final chorus, let's bump it up. And you can hear, we speed up. Tempo goes up here. This is Metheny style. If you have not listened to my podcast with Pat Metheny, the Wong Notes podcast with Metheny, Metheny has a philosophy that every song should speed up. I'm talking, when he's playing to a click, he programs the clicks to accelerate. Crazy. This song, we didn't do to a click. We just naturally sped up a little bit because it felt fun and right to just kind of amp up that energy. So for this last chorus, to build onto that, it's like, oh, what else can we do to make a big statement? So I, Zangow! Orchestra hits. I don't remember what orchestra patch I used, but here it is. Here's the lead up and the hit. Come on, that's that Steve Aoki vibe. Five one, baby. 5-1. Woo, 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 woo. This is where I think the orchestra hits and the octave guitars really shine. Let's isolate the octave guitars. Add in these strings. Add the drums. That's fun. High energy. That's what I want for this last chorus. Just throw everything at it, super high energy. Orchestra hits. I decided, okay, let's bring those synth aliens back. Let's bring them back to the party. Let's bring the thunderstruck guy back in. Just because otherwise, I thought if that only happens at the bridge, it's kind of weird on its own, but... attacks or whatever, you know? The orchestra hits are kind of fun because Jack has used them in other Wolf tunes. The original version of Cory Wong, there's like these out-of-time orchestra hits that are kind of fun. There's been other songs where Jack uses orchestra hits for like some sort of effect. So I thought, oh, that'd be fun to do it here. Plus, I just saw this documentary and I'm hype on orchestra hits. And it just seems like kind of a fun, unique thing that I don't normally get to do. There was a certain pressure taken off for Wong's Cafe. There's like a different approach to it because it was kind of like half a Wolfpack record, half a Cory Wong album or something. Like it was a Wolf Vault vinyl, but on Spotify, it's a Cory Wong album. There was a different sort of freedom, I guess, I had when I was making these tracks where I didn't overthink too many things. I was just having fun. And that actually found me in a really cool creative space. And also with this, where it's like, oh yeah, that's already airplane mode for the verse part. It's like, who cares? It fits nice and it's fun. I dig it. And some people are like, oh, they're regurgitating their own ideas. Like, I don't really care. It's fun and it works nice and it's a different tune. So that's Let's Go off of the album, Wong's Cafe. Check it out if you haven't. Also, let me know in those comments below. What do you want to see me doing on the what do you want a production, mix, arrangement breakdown of? I'm happy to open up the sessions for you. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the educational purposes. Just show you a little bit inside the mind of how we make what we do and approach what we're doing as far as making records, or at least how I do. And I hope that it helps in some way. And maybe you're a substitute teacher at a band class and you just like don't know what to do. Throw on one of my videos. Use it as educational things for teenagers or college kids or preschool. I don't care. These preschoolers need to know about orchestra hits. These preschool kids need to know about layered guitars and why you do them and rhythmic undercurrents and why you layer certain things certain ways. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. Peace!